Hello and welcome back to Talon's Base Camp for another video, this one on a hardshell repair on my iKamper. So what happened for me is I was on a trail and hit a low-hanging large tree branch, and it actually pierced the hardshell fiberglass casing on this iKamper. So I want to go through how I'm doing the repair rather than having to replace the hardshell itself. First off, the hardshell on the iKampers are a double layer fiberglass plastic molding, which allows this to be a lot easier repaired than if you had to weld plastic, which is a real challenge. So with it being fiberglass, it's going to make it a lot simpler to actually get this done, and it should look decent at the end. You guys can be the judge. As you can see, impacted, caused scratches up, came through. This one's slightly deep, but it didn't pierce it. Let's see if I can get a good angle. But this one actually pierced the fiberglass and then pierced actually a full puncture through here. So we're going to try to repair that and hopefully keep that from getting any worse. Future reference, due to the height, this is higher than even I anticipated. So I'm going to be more careful in the future with low-hanging branches. So this repair is going to require two things: JB Weld plastic bonder, which also will work for fiberglass, and it's a filler adhesive, as well as 320 grit sandpaper. So we're going to mix that in the tray, and at this point I don't think we're going to need tons of it, so we're going to use it sparingly. Can always mix up more if we need it. I'm going to do the non-perforated portion first, and then as it thickens up, I'll start using that portion to fill the gap. I really wish I could have gotten to the inside and put in some tape, but I'm not going to be able to, so we're going to work with it. So at this point, I'm just taking it slow and pushing it into the crack as I go. Okay, so that's starting to get a little tacky. Let's see if we can get a little bit more here. I'm just trying to smooth it out now. Same as here. I just don't want this one to get any worse than it already is. So while it's not perforated, I still want to clean it up a little bit, because if it is fractured at all, I don't want it to crack in variable weather conditions. So this should ensure that that doesn't happen. I'm just going to smooth it out a bit more. There's a bit of a hole here, so like an indent, so I may get a little bit more after this sets a little bit and add it in just to ensure that that's gotten filled out well enough. So I'm just going to clean up the edges a little bit for the glue that isn't needed. I don't have to worry about sanding it off later. So this JB Weld product, it sets in about 15 minutes and can be sanded after about 30 minutes. Because it's a hot day, it may take a little longer to set, but we'll see. But at the moment, that's all I need to do. And while you might have noticed it kind of looks a little concave at the moment, I'm going to sand that down flat. I would rather a little extra be in there so that if it settles into that hole, it'll actually settle in there, rather than having to keep add. Now I did add a little amount in where there was an indent. I did fill that, so hopefully that will stay flush. The top of the hard cover actually will push up and down if you push on it. So you have to be aware that it's still going to flex, which is one of the reasons I chose this. It should allow for that flex to continue without cracking again. Now it's all theory. I'm going to try it first. If this works and continues to work, definitely I'll let you know. But I really do expect that this will work as a solution rather than replacing the whole hardcover. That's a really expensive replacement, and this thing is going to get damaged probably a few more times in my adventures, so I'm not expecting it to be perfect. You might be asking about like the scrapes on the top. What am I going to do? Well, I'm probably in the end going to get a company to do a vinyl sticker over the top anyway, just to add a little bit of protection on it and keep the scratches from looking horrible all the time. But really, who looks at it from the top? So it's still a little tacky to the touch, so I'm going to leave it. This one's pretty good, but this one's still tacky, so I'm going to leave it a little longer before I start sanding it. This is about 20 minutes after it's set. So I let it sit for about an hour because of how hot it is today. I already sanded this one down so it's flat. Obviously it's not going to get back to like perfect color, but it still matches the scratches. But I could always repaint over this if I wanted to, but I know I'm going to get more scratches on here. So yeah, I'm now going to do this one using the 320 grit sandpaper to smooth it out, and then I should be done. So it's not a perfect match to the color after sanding it down, but that is okay. The bigger thing was fixing the crack. The black's going to be hard to match no matter what, just because even here, like with the little scratches and that, you're not ever going to perfectly match it. But overall, I think that'll work out well. It's pretty smooth. There's a bit of a groove I could keep working at a little bit, but overall I'm pretty satisfied. The biggest thing for me was to fix it, keep the crack from spreading worse, and have a compound in there that's going to still have enough flex while keeping the strength of the unit together. In the end, between the JB Weld and the sandpaper, I'm $32 for a repair plus my time, which is not bad compared to replacing the whole cover on this. with the cover being fairly expensive, wasn't the route I wanted to go at this time. If I do more extensive damage over the year or make a huge crack into it that's not repairable, then I'll replace the cover. But for anyone in a position like me that gets a small puncture, this is a good way to do it while keeping the structural integrity of the hard shell and keeping it waterproof and weather resistant for continued camping. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Really helps me out as I'm a new channel, and thank you for watching.